Hi, and welcome to this episode of Pure Food for Thought. I'm Phoebe. Thanks for
Seth.
tuning in.
Hi.
Yes, and this is Seth Godin. We're recording from the sweetest place on earth. You knew that, right?
The inimitable Hershey Lodge, where at any given angle of the compass, you can see 17 different typefaces all interacting with each other.
Yes. I've never been here before.
That's fine.
It's cozy.
Yeah.
It is.
Nice people.
Most people probably know you, Seth, from your TED Talks, your 18 books that have been published worldwide, and the blog, probably Twitter too. You're heavy on Twitter.
No, I don't tweet. Never
don't
tweet. Nope.
No?
The blog shows up on Twitter every day.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's where people can pick up like the daily little thoughts.
It's the first sentence of the blog on Twitter every morning.
But I guess, or I picture your focus being on what you would like people to do, which is go, do, and be remarkable.
Well, I guess I would say what I'd like people to do is what they'd like to do. Mm-hmm. And what people would like, I think, is to be seen and to be able to make the change they seek to make in the world. Mm-hmm. And to be seen means not to be lonely, not to be ignored, not to be disrespected. Mm-hmm. And the best way to be seen is to be a positive contribution to make this change happen. But how do we make the change happen? Do we make it by waiting to be discovered and put in a movie? Right. By waiting to be discovered and given a fancy job? By waiting to have the authority to tell people what to do? Because speaking of Hershey Lodge, that's what Milton Hershey did for a living. He built a factory, and then he hired people and told them what to do. And we don't live in that world anymore. We have a different opportunity now.
Right. So when you tell people, or when you encourage or inspire people to be heard, a lot of people find their value in being heard. And when they want to find value in being heard, they feel as if they have to speak louder or speak to a bigger audience, right?
That's what they think.
How do you reel people in from, or get people out of their own way?
You know, my friend Steve Pressfield wrote a book called The War of Art. It's about the resistance, the voice in the back of our head, the lizard brain, the thing that pushes us to fail, mm-hmm. the invention of writer's block. If you say the only way I can do anything that matters is if 1 million people hear me, is if I get on Shark Tank, is if I have my own show, you're hiding. You can matter to 5 people. And if your work is good, they'll tell someone else. And if they tell someone else, then you'll matter to 10 people. 10 people is a lot. If you can change 10 people, they'll tell 100 people. And 100 people is a ton. Most people don't get to change 100 people. So stop worrying about all the zeros. That the opportunity we have is right before us. That if you're a mediocre Twitter user and you have 100 people who tolerate you, then having 1 million people is still going to be a mediocre Twitter user, mm-hmm. right? That what matters isn't the scale, it's the impact.
Right.
And the scale distracts us from that.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm sure years ago you didn't have the scale or the big impact that you do now. What is it, if there was one thing that you could share with our listeners about your journey, what would it be about your personal journey, especially in building your brand and your business and having your voice heard?
Well, if I only had one thing I could share, it's that I had a journey. Mm-hmm. What's wrong with having a journey? Why can't you have a journey too?
Right.
Right? I didn't, the first year I was a book packager, I got 800 rejection letters in a row. 800 times I went to the mailbox, and 800 times I got a letter back with a stamp that said, we don't like you, we don't trust you, we don't believe in you, we don't want to work with you, go away.
Right.
At least that's what I thought it said, mm-hmm. right? That, I've been blogging longer than almost anyone on the planet. My email blog started in 1988. Right? Before most people who are listening to this were born.
Right.
And it had 10 people, 20 people, 30 people for the longest time. And if you go back to the first TypePad post from 11 or 12 or 15 years ago, it's not very good. Well, that one was good, but the second one wasn't very good, and the fifth one wasn't very good, and the 40th one was terrible. Mm-hmm. And one day I did 5 posts in a row, and 2 of them were good, but that was too many. And you show up, and you show up. And I didn't say, now it's my turn for you to pay me money, and now I need a sponsor. I just said, here. And if you show up and you notice things and you point them out and you light a light and you say, if you want to, follow me, mm-hmm. sooner or later, you're either to discover your work's not very good or that your work is being found. Mm-hmm. And there are clever tactics and tricks you can use to amplify and accelerate this. But if you're not prepared to do that part, don't go looking for a shortcut, because it's the long way around.
Do you think a lot of people ask, I want to do what you're doing in your business. How can I start my own business? When is it my turn? Persistence. When did you know this didn't work, it's time for me to try something different? Or when can you advise someone to get out of their own way and take that chance?
There's 18 questions there,
Yes,
Phoebe,
there are.
nestled within one each other. The first thing I'll say is the best time to start was 20 years ago. The second best time to start is today. There's nothing to wait for. That we built this thing not so we could have YouTube videos of cats.
Right.
We built this thing so, here, a microphone, use it. You're showing up, no one, as far as I know, gave you a podcasting license. Do you have a license?
No.
Right?
Do I need one?
Well, exactly. And so this idea of waiting, you're hiding. So let's call it that. I'm hiding. If you're sticking with something that's not working and you're sure it's not working, you're hiding. If you're quitting things too early, you're hiding. That everything that you do that feels wrong is a form of hiding. And so the rationalization that we go through is a way of keeping ourselves stuck. Here's my concrete suggestion. Find 4 other people. Meet every single week. And the only purpose of the face-to-face meeting is to make a promise to the group about something you're going to accomplish next week, and then keep it. Week after week. If you do that 50 times a year, make 50 promises to 4 people, you will change. Number 2, tactical thing, start a blog. You don't have to tell anyone you did. You don't have to use your real name. Blog every single day, once a day.
Is that to learn consistency?
It's to learn how to notice things and to stand behind what you notice.
Okay.
To write something down. I see this, I think this is going to happen. And then you can come back 4 weeks later and see what you wrote. This practice doesn't require readership. It requires writership.
Right.
Caring enough to show up.
So showing up, owning your voice, taking a chance.
No, I didn't say that. It's not taking a chance. What you're doing now is taking a chance.
Yeah, but it is
what you're
taking a
doing now
chance,
when you're
showing up.
hiding, you're taking a chance. Because what you're doing when you're hiding is you're saying, it'll all work out. No, it won't. That's a ridiculous chance. But showing up is the safest thing you can do.
Right.
It's the least riskiest thing that's available.
I love that. Well, that's what I did.
Bingo.
That's why we're here. One last question. And I don't know why I have this book on my counter.
I don't know
at
either.
Home. Like this, you've read this, right?
No, but it's so sad.
Oh, I know, but happiness is a sad song and it's a warm blanket.
Okay.
Right? So success, I could ask you what success means to you, but I'm more curious to know, what do you think so happiness is to you? Happiness is
defined by the person who is happy. I know people who live in Kibera, the largest slum in Kenya. I know people who live in Bareilly, India. If they had your life, they wouldn't stop giggling, right? Happiness is in your eyes. If you decide tomorrow is going to be a happy day, it will be. Happiness is about perception. So if you can figure out how to do this work that matters, this contribution, and define that as the thing that makes you happy, that act, you'll give yourself a priceless gift.
Okay, that's perfect. So show up and do it.
And choose to be happy about
Okay.
it. Yeah, I wrote a book about this. It's at yourturn.link.
Is it your turn? Okay.
What to do when it's your turn.
Okay. And we can find you at,
Type Seth into Google.
just type Seth into Google?
Yes.
Okay. We'll find you, I'm sure. Thank you so much for joining me.
It's a pleasure.
It was some very useful information, simple tips. And of course, I think people should listen to the TED Talks. You should check out the TED Talks.
Feel free. There's a lot of good stuff online.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So thanks for joining me. It was a lot of fun.
Cheers.
And
Toast me.
Yes, there you go. You guys can find me at phoebespurefood.com. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to subscribe. And you can find me at the Two Weird Hunger Girls podcast as well. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Want to know more about who's doing what in Berks County? Check out the stories on thepeoplechronicles.com.